artists and art lovers. I am very excited to open our third season.
Oh, wow.
Yes, our third season of Princeton Makes podcast. We're still here, even though our audience is not big, but it is loyal and loving. So we're continuing. Every month, we meet an artist and dive into their creative life. I'm Zohar Lavi-Hasson, and my guest today is Shiri Assayag. Woohoo! Hi, Shiri.
Hi.
Hi. And this is a very special treat for us because Shiri is a good friend, also a fellow Israeli from the tribe. So it will be very weird for us to speak in English.
Yes, it will.
But we will do it. Shiri, I always start with asking my guests to explain what Princeton Makes is.
So Princeton Makes is an artist co-op. We have about 40 artists, and some of the artists have studios here, which are amazing, I might say. And some of us display their art here in the entrance. We are located at the shopping center in Princeton on Harrison Street. And it's a place of beautiful creators, creating also a community. We help each other, we learn from each other, and we love to invite everyone to see our art and appreciate it and also buy it.
Yeah. And when did you join the artist co-op?
I joined about a year and a half ago. You helped me with that, you know. So, I came here.
I just said there's an amazing artist and you should take her. So they saw your art and they took you. And can you tell us a little bit about your art? What kind of art do you make?
So I create mainly with oils and watercolor. But actually, the one thing that I love the most is to create with mixed media, which is taking a little of everything that I like to do, which is ink or oils or pen or pencil, and just create something that is maybe to the first look, it looks like a little weird sometimes, but I love what it creates together, what it makes. I don't display a lot of those things here in Princeton Makes. I display mostly my watercolor and oil paintings, but I'm working on it. It's a process.
Why don't you display them here?
Maybe I don't feel confident enough in them right now. Maybe I feel that there's more growth that needs to be there.
I don't know. I'm very curious. We might need to put a link to one of these.
I might.
Or not, if you want.
Yeah.
Shiri is the artist of the month of September, and her work is in the window. And also she has an artist talk that we'll talk about in the end. And we're recording this podcast. And it's like a Shiri month.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how did you get to be a painter?
So I guess it was always there. Being an artist was something that I liked to do since I was a girl in school. There's always those kinds of groups that are responsible for cleaning the classroom, for decorating the classroom. I was always in the decorating, of course. Yeah. People always say, "Oh, your handwriting is so beautiful." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Creating the posters and everything.
Va'adat kishut.
Yeah, in Hebrew, Va'adat kishut. And then I guess I had, this is something very interesting. I was talking about this with my husband yesterday, that I got it to 3 points in my life in which I had the opportunity to choose to go and learn art. And I passed on them. First time I passed, that was I went to sports class instead of art class when I was going into 7th grade. And I very much enjoyed volleyball for 3 years, but I didn't do art.
Yeah.
The second one was I was going to 10th grade, and I had the opportunity to go to graphics class. And I chose to go to biology and chemistry. Well, go figure. I don't know. And the fourth one was when I chose to go to learn occupational therapy instead of art. But that was kind of something that I had in my mind already, the master that I wanted to take, which was art therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, okay, so I'll learn art therapy, and then I'll learn how to be an art therapist. So I did have like the art in my mind.
Right. Sounds like it were very pragmatic.
Yeah, I was very pragmatic at a lot of points.
But still, art still took a big part of your
life. Yes, and that's what's interesting. That's what's also funny because I remember that yesterday when I went to the army.
In Israel, we have to go to the army.
Okay. After you finish 12 years of education, you go to the army, and I was a teacher in the army. I taught soldiers that didn't finish 12 years of education. Yeah. I was also an officer, and I enjoyed tremendously this time in the army because I learned a lot. And after the army, I moved to an apartment in Tel Aviv with wasn't my husband yet, but we moved there, we worked there. And I remember one day I said, I want to create something. And I didn't have any tools to work with. Yeah. So I was just going like to an art store, and I was talking to the person who worked there. What do I need if I want to create in oils? And he said, you need this and this and that. And I took everything and I went home and I started to paint. Oh, now the thing is that's what my husband reminded me yesterday. If I didn't finish the painting in one day, I didn't come back to it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I had lots of unfinished paintings. I won't say that they were like amazing. I think they were kind of very, very coming from the inside. Yeah. Very different from what they're still me in a way. Yeah.
So what did you do with all these paintings?
So some of them are still at my parents' home. One was hanging on the wall until a better one replaced it. And yeah, I think I
feel like parents need a dedicated space for all their kids' shit.
Even when they're 48.
All our parents have our stuff still. Yeah. We don't want lying around.
Yeah.
So how would you say that your art developed since then?
So I told you that I wanted to go to art therapy. Yeah. And this plan waited for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then in my 30-something, I decided that I want to go back to it. I was working as an occupational therapist, and while I was working, I wanted to go back to school.
Yeah.
And at that point, I already had 3 kids.
Yeah.
My parents helped me a lot in this time. Since I wanted art therapy, I had to learn art for that. Right. So I had a year of art, which was mind-blowing. Yeah. Like for me, I was like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So this is how you do it. And I was like, and I realized after this year, okay, so that's what I want to do, actually. I want to continue to create.
Yeah. So where did you learn that?
Seminar Olanim is a kind of a college in Israel. Yeah. I learned painting, mostly oil painting and drawing and sculpture, which also I loved.
Yeah,
very much. Except for all the information that you get and all the learning about artists, I realized that there are so many options of how to create. And so, yeah, it was very much
amazing. Okay, so you learned there, and then
we moved here.
You moved here.
So no art therapy.
Oh.
So no art therapy, and I was trying, looking at Drexel University in Philly, and I realized that I'll have to be there 5 days a week. Yeah. And 3 young kids that I don't know, and we're still new here.
Yeah,
we were still new here, so I didn't want to do it. Yeah. So I continued with art, and I found a group of women. Led by Heather Burrows, that was very much welcoming. And we were creating every week. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about Heather, that every time she brought something new, different media. Also different objects. It was still life, if it was something from a picture, if it was kind of collage, but we always created something else. It didn't repeat itself, which was very, very interesting to me. Because again, from the mind-blowing situation. So again, mind-blowing. Yeah, you can create also with this, and you can create also with that, and you can combine things. And if you combine them, maybe it makes something even more interesting.
Yeah. So that was a very educational experience.
Yeah, very and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I joined you for one session.
Yeah, and you not only for one session.
Or two, not many.
I think you had two.
Yeah, and I was fat.
Yeah, so yeah. And after that, we convinced our dear friend Yifat Chatsky, which is an amazing artist, to create groups and to teach by groups. And we joined one of them. And
also our kids.
Our kids joined another group, of course. And then was COVID. So she continued during COVID, which was so helpful, and it was something that holds you there.
Yeah.
And also, again, COVID was amazing for me.
Wait, I don't want to go back there. Let's just explain that Yifat did it on Zoom.
Yeah.
We were all sitting in our houses, painting on Zoom, and trying to chat and trying to put music, but that didn't really work well.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work well when too many microphones are open. Yeah. But I don't want to go back to COVID.
No.
Yeah, there were a lot of bad things, but for my creative process, this time was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I was at home, and I had so much time to be home and just to create in my studio, and I have so many pieces that I created, and I not necessarily love them, because I don't love everything that I do.
Okay.
A lot of things find them their place in the closet, but I do appreciate this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Artists need time.
So much time.
Yeah, they need time also not to create. They need time to just think or try new things and fail and.
Yeah. And that's why I think, okay, so I didn't say that I'm a teacher. I'm a Hebrew teacher in charter school in East Brunswick, and I love my students. They're second graders, so they're really cute.
Yeah.
And the thing is that while I'm working during the year, I barely have time to create.
Right.
You know how it is. You're a mom too. You come home, you have your kids, you have to drive them to all their activities, and what's left for you? Yeah, for your creation.
Yes, nothing.
Nothing. So it's mainly weekend.
You're tired at night.
You're so tired, and it's mainly weekends.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the weekend, you have also things that you need to do.
Weekend is
grocery shopping, food making for the week, and every
laundry.
Yeah, every person who is a parent knows that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't leave a lot of time to create during the year. So I mostly create during the summer,
which has just ended.
Yeah.
Did you create a lot?
I think I kind of did. Maybe not as much as I wanted to, but but I do. I want to go back to the point where I said that it takes time, because I do realize that I'm kind of frustrated during the year because I don't have this time to try and to not like what I want, or to try and suddenly realize, oh, that's interesting, I want to try that. I don't have the thinking time, the trying time, and this is so important. This phase of trying and thinking, it's so important. That's what makes like the most beautiful paintings after that.
Right.
So that's kind of, okay, maybe I'll retire one day, you know.
The kids are getting older.
Yeah, the kids are getting older.
Plus driving them around, they drive, some of them.
Yeah, you know, one has a few more years to go before driving. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's true. But still.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, you know.
It's hard.
Yeah. But, you know, motherhood is also fulfilling. We can talk about this too.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the process of creation for you.
Okay.
And how does it start? Where do you start? Where do you get your ideas, your inspiration?
So the funny thing is, I have 2 folders in my phone, in my photos.
Yeah.
One is called Family Inspiration. One is called Inspiration.
Okay.
So I want to say that lots of things inspire me. I see an interesting light that falls on a tree or a house. It inspires me. I see different shades yesterday. We were going out, we were here, and I was going out and I saw that it was before the rainbow. But the sky had like kind of so interesting shade of like really, really dark blue and grays and some purple, and I just like took my camera and so those moments are moments that I either take with me and in my mind, or I automatically usually just take out my phone and take a picture and just like put it in a folder, because I don't know if I'll have time now to create with it or maybe sometimes else.
And that's in the inspiration folder?
That will be in the inspiration folder.
Right.
In my family inspiration folder, I have lots of photos that every time that I go back to Israel to visit my family, because all my family lives in Israel. So I take pictures of old photos of family members, like my grandparents, my parents when they were very young, babies and kids and older. And when us too, my brother, my sister and I, when we were kids. And then I realized again, like all before our conversation, so I had many realizations. One of them is the connection that I make in my mind between family and nature. That's something that I'm going to talk about in the artist talk.
Okay.
I really didn't think about it before, but my childhood was a lot about hiking. So not really like very difficult hiking, but almost every weekend, this is what we used to do. We used to go and on a hike and then sit and have a picnic. Or we had, I don't know if you remember that, we had something called in Hebrew Tzeadot, which is some kind of organization that wants to invite people to come and visit the area more. So they create kind of long walks, hikes. And we used to go to so many of those, and I still have the medals.
Oh,
I just found them. Like I was like, oh my God, I did save them.
Did you finish it?
What? When you finish. So it's like, you're proud of yourself. So it's all connected to very good feeling. The family together, the nature, the medals at the end. So it's like, there's nothing that calms me more and makes me more happy, I think, than hiking with my family, with my husband, my kids, sometimes the dog. It's so calming. And I always take all our hikes, I take pictures, I put them in the inspiration. Most of my nature inspirations come from Israel.
And a lot of your paintings are Israel, nature, and city.
I think it's longing.
Oh,
But not only longing to our beautiful country, it's longing also for family, of course, but also for something simple that we used to have when we were kids. Because sometimes I feel like when we go back to visit, it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same.
No.
It's the
well, now it's definitely not the same.
Now it's definitely not the same, and we are. Let's say that October 7th, almost a year ago, was that was the worst day ever. It was a cursed day, and since then it seems like so bad. We're so
Israel is doing very, very bad now.
And we want all the hostages to come back. We want all the killings to be stopped, all the war to be stopped in Gaza, in Israel. We're sad for every life that is taken. We are peace persons. We are peace people, and we are very sad for our country. for families that are still there, and we of course worried about them, and so that's a lot of longing.
Did it help you to be a creator during this very hard time?
So surprisingly, not
Oh.
really.
Mhm.
No, I was kind of blocked.
You couldn't create.
No,
Yeah.
at the beginning, after October 7th, I was very, everything stopped for me, like everything except for just living and being at the moment, and being with my kids, being with
Yeah.
at work, whatever I needed to do. I came back to that later. There's one painting that I did after that is related, but yeah, no, not really. I wasn't able. It was
So really, what you're saying is a lot of your paintings are coming from longing to something that does not exist anymore.
not only does it exist. Some of them do exist. Of course, I'm going there every 2 summers. I'm going back to Israel and I'm taking new photos. Some of them are longing to the old and the simple and the things like I used to know them as a younger person, but also just longing to my country, longing to the beautiful sceneries, family. Some of my paintings are from my backyard in Israel that I really loved.
Yeah.
The poppies, both the poppies actually.
So Shiri, is there like a specific painting that you feel very attached to, maybe that you can tell us about the inspiration for? Or
there is a painting that I'm going to talk about in my artist talk, and I'm gonna bring it because it's a huge one. Not a huge, it's a big one. It's a very personal painting that I created after so I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2019. And at that point, I didn't appreciate it that it was only stage 1, which is good, you can deal with it. But after a while, of course, I realized that okay, I was lucky that it was stage 1, and I had to go through some surgeries, and it was a process. It was a long one. Like all the surgeries, it was over 2 years. I think it shocked me because I always believed that I'm like a healthy person. I'm not smoking, not drinking, I'm not really exercising, maybe a little, but I'm eating like
healthy?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty healthy. So and there's no cancer in my family,
Right.
no breast cancer. So I was like, what?
Where did it come
Where
from?
did it come from?
Yeah.
And I didn't feel it. It was like mammogram, go do mammogram. It's so important, saves lives. Yeah. I started this painting a while after, I think maybe a year after everything was done.
Yeah.
I wanted to present myself. So it's kind of a portrait, but not really. You can see me, but it's not like 1-to-1. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
And I love it like this.
Yeah.
And it's me in a window. The curtain is open, and I'm kind of sitting inside the nature, the vegetation. How is it called? Vegetation, the flowers, flower bed, earth, the soil.
Yeah.
In one way, it's kind of morbid, like I'm in the ground, kind of like My eyes are closed, so maybe I'm dead, but I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not. But it's also like this game, like with life and death, because okay, I'm stage 1, but when you have cancer, you don't think, I'm stage 1.
Right.
Hey, you think like, I have cancer, I might die.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to leave my husband. I don't want to live this life.
Yeah.
So you have all those thoughts, and I had to. So that was my inspiration for this painting, and actually another series of mixed media actually that I created with charcoal and newspaper and pencil and watercolor that I also love.
about this subject?
About that was a little more about how it's difficult to pick up yourself and do the daily things that you do while you're going through this process of like, I have cancer, I have to deal with it. I had cancer. Okay, now I have to go through another surgery. So another surgery. Yeah, I'm going. Everyone is looking at me. Everyone is seeing my breast. Everyone is like, that was kind of an issue.
Yeah.
So, and I really love this painting, the one that I'm going to bring here.
We're going to put a link.
Yeah, well, perfect.
So you're inspired by longing, by life and death, and pain, and body.
Yeah.
By nature, of course, and by family. All right, we have to start wrapping up, but before we do, we're gonna get you through the speed round, in which I ask you questions and you have to answer me with one word or two. Ready?
Or not.
Here I come. What is your favorite artist of all time?
Gustav Klimt.
Okay. What is your favorite material to create with?
Right now, oils.
What is the space that you feel most creative in?
My studio at home.
So we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I have a studio at home.
Okay. What music or podcast you like to listen to when you create?
So I had a period of time when it was Beatles, but now it's more like soul music.
Soul music. But always music?
Usually in my headphones.
Yeah. What is your worst artistic nightmare?
That I won't find this urge to paint.
Okay. But then you won't have the urge to paint. You'll have time to do other things. In one word, how do you feel when you create art?
In my world? I feel in my world.
Okay, that's 3, but I'll let you go with it. Okay, so we're moving to our promotional part. Where can people find you?
So I am working on my Instagram, and actually my daughters are helping me.
Nice.
And you can come here and find me.
Yeah, so
usually here on weekends. Yeah.
Shiri is actually here on weekends, and her paintings are here all the time. So you're welcome to come and see them. Also, you have an artist talk.
Yeah.
So when is the artist talk?
The artist talk will be on September 28th. We start at 6:30 with refreshments and some schmoozing, like Jim likes to say. And at 7, the talk starts, and I'll be very, very, very happy to see people coming and listening.
Yes. So thank you, Shiri. It was really nice talking. I wish we could have seen here one day. We are the Princeton Makes podcast. Our designer is RD. Our theme music is by Renata Pugh. I'm Zohar Lavi-Hasson, producing and hosting. If you have any questions or comments about this podcast or other episodes, please email to princetonmakespodcast@gmail.com. Also, let us know if you would like to be added to our mailing list. We have a lot of events, and you can get our newsletter and be in the know. Please rate and share this podcast so maybe we have more than 20 listeners. And then maybe we can inspire other people to create. Princeton Makes is located at the Princeton Shopping Center, and we are open Thursday to Sunday from 10 to 6. Till next time, be creative and kind.